Last video we looked at what is Python and how we can get started. In this video I'm going to get you familiar with what's called a command line. In this video we're going to introduce the idea of a command line in two steps. So I'm going to talk to you about REPL and I'm going to talk about IPython. So remember when we talked about Windows PowerShell or WinPython PowerShell in your WinPython installation? If we double click that, then we'll open a screen that looks a little bit like this. So what this is there is a space for you to type something, okay? And if you press enter, it would give you something back. So you can imagine this as like a chat, which you chat to your computer with or chat to Python with. So the first thing to do is to type Python and press enter. So now we have my Python installation, which is actually older than yours. I have 3.6.2. You have 3.6.5 if you have followed the instructions correctly. The way that we imagine this, the command line, which is the PowerShell, so Windows calls the command line PowerShell, but it's a command line. That's a conversational interface almost, or like a chat box that you use to communicate with the computer and make it do certain things, right? So obviously we know that AI is not here yet, and we still need to invoke certain commands or say certain things to make the computer do what we want to do. So to launch a Python environment so that we can start using Python, we tell it Python, which is what's highlighted in yellow here. When we type Python and go enter, the command will cause the computer to execute the Python executable, which then prints all this information on screen, which tells us we're using Python 3.6.2. and this is what our computer is, and we're on Windows 32. It also says type help or copyright or credits or license for more information. So let's take that byte and say help. And it says, okay, you actually typed something wrong. It's help with open parentheses and close parentheses for interactive help, or help objects for help about objects. We don't know what an object is, so let's try the first one. So welcome to Python 3.6 help utility. And it gives you a bunch of information. So for now, we won't want to do this, but you're welcome to check this out yourself. We type quit again, and it tells us, okay, so when something happens on screen, it means that the computer understood your command and is doing something. When you type quit, it says, you're now leaving help and returning to the Python interpreter. You may want to ask for help on a particular object directly from the interpreter. You can type help object. Executing help string has the same effect of typing a particular string at the help prompt. So here we are faced with three new concepts. Let's focus in on the word prompt. So prompt is basically these three arrows here, right? What it means is the computer is prompting you to say something. And whenever you say something, it would process what you said as a command and show you what that command leads to. So this is what REPL means. So the command line is also called an REPL, and what it is it's also a common term in Python, the Python community, which is why I want to show you here. REPL means read, evaluate, print, and loop. So what this means is when the computer or the Python interpreter or the environment prompts you for something, and you type something in there like when we just typed help just now, and you press enter, it would read your command, evaluate it, print out the results, and loop back to the first position. So what this allows us to do is it allows us to rapidly give commands to Python and see what Python says. So we can say Python 1, and Python was like, okay, you give me a number 1, I'll give you a number 1. And we can repeatedly do this, which is what the loop is. And whenever it prompts us to do something and we type 1 and we press enter, it reads the 1 as a character and it evaluates that 1 and it says, okay, you just gave me a 1, I'll give you back a 1, that's the only thing I can do. And so it prints the 1 in the P version of the REPL steps and it loops back and gives you the prompt again. Very easy. The other thing I want to show you is IPython. So if we type IPython, it stands for Interactive Python. So it's slightly better than the Python before because we can notice a few things. We can notice that if we type 1 and execute the REPL loop, we then see that the IPython has told us that we have given it one input and has given us one output. And now we're in the second input. So what that allows us to do is, as you can imagine, if we start developing in Python for a while here, then we'll get lost in which are the commands or what commands we did, etc., etc. In IPython, one of the main benefits is it gives you sort of like a checkpoint or like a progress meter on how far you have come in executing commands. So you kind of have a mental track of like, this is how many commands I've tried. The other thing is you can press the up button to get the last command or even the command before that. And so if, for example, we wanted to type 11 and we instead type 1 and pressed enter accidentally, you have no idea how common this is because you're impatient about executing your Python. What you can do, instead of retyping everything you've typed, imagine if it's a long command, you can simply press the up button, get the last command, change it to 11, and then you can proceed on as normal. And that's all there is to it. So we've just learned what is REPL. REPL stands for read, evaluate, print, and then loop back. And we also talked about IPython, which is a command line utility that nicely allows us to interact with Python. So we can tell Python commands, and it will tell us back what the commands cost it to do. And also it has color, which is good, which helps our eyes and visually distinguish what we've been doing. And also numbers the command that we're on, so it allows us to quickly scan through our screen and see what's going on. And also if you press the up button in IPython, it allows you to go back to the last command that you've executed so you can make minor modifications. In the next video, I'm going to talk about writing and running your first Python program. I'll see you guys next time.